abroad Japan, get to know the elected positions in DAJ today. So before we go over the elected positions, I'd just like to give a brief overview of Democrats Abroad and Democrats Abroad Japan. So first of all, what is Democrats Abroad? Democrats Abroad is the official Democratic Party arm for millions of Americans living outside the United States and is recognized as a state party by the Democratic National Committee, DNC. So we have 52 country committees throughout the Americas, EMEA, and Asia Pacific. Obviously, Democrats Abroad Japan is in Asia Pacific, and DA is nonprofit and 100% volunteer run. So this is our mission statement. We provide a democratic voice in our government and help elect democratic candidates by mobilizing the overseas votes, by helping Americans abroad vote, protecting the right to vote for Americans abroad, working to advocate for issues that concern Americans abroad, working with the broader Democratic Party to achieve our goals, building communities of like-minded Americans, and helping to elect Democrats in every district. Okay, so more about Democrats Abroad Japan specifically. So Democrats Abroad Japan is one of the largest and most active country committees in Asia Pacific region. Currently we have nearly 3,000 members spread all across Japan. Yeah, yeah. So our designated regions, so we have 3 active chapters in Kanto, Kansai, and Tokai, but we also have regions in Japan that we also represent, so Hokkaido, Northeast Honshu, Southwest Honshu, and Kyushu, Shikoku, and Okinawa. All right, and this is just briefly our organizational structure. And so we have our National Executive Committee, which oversees Japan as a whole. We also have the Advisory Board, which consists of chapter chairs, members at large to represent the regions that don't have chapters. Chairs for committees. We currently have 6 committees: Get Out the Vote, Communications, Fundraising, Events Outreach, and Membership. And the 6th committee, Volunteer Management, is an ad hoc committee that I created this year. And then we also have the chapter leadership. Okay, and then these are just some activities that we've done over the past term. So from 2023 to 2025, we've had certain like social events. For instance, in Kanto and Kansai, we have like monthly speakeasy social gathering events. We've done election watch parties. We've had Thanksgiving events. Trying to do get out the vote, voter registration, volunteer engagement, and also just spreading awareness about get out the vote, well, upcoming elections and such, and also awareness of issues going on. Okay, so now that we've gone through the overview of Democrats, or Democrats Abroad, I'd like to get more into the elected positions that, as I said, we'll be having elections later, very soon this year. So we'll go over those positions now. Okay, so first we have National Chair, which is my position. By the way, yeah, so I think I forgot to introduce myself, sorry. I'm Anna Costello, and I'm the current National Chair of Democrats Abroad Japan. So as National Chair, I am Chief Executive Officer of Democrats Abroad Japan. I just basically make sure that Democrats Abroad Japan is being managed and functioning properly. So some specific things that I do, I call and establish the agenda of meetings. So for the executive committee, we have meetings every 2 weeks. For advisory board, we have meetings monthly, once a month, and we also have an annual general meeting, which is once a year. And I ensure that Democrats Abroad Japan is in compliance to be recognized as a country committee of Democrats Abroad. Like I said, basically make sure that we're functioning. Some specific thing I need to submit, like a simple document, like for submitting membership count, submitting the current bylaws, making sure that we hold the annual general meeting. And I also do participate in some regional meetings for the Asia Pacific region, just to keep up to date with happenings there and liaisoning with other country committees. And I also participate in some global meetings, specifically ones for voting. Okay, so the national vice chair that currently is Eric Gondry, who is unable to make today. But some of the work that he does is basically support for the chair and for the country committee, Democrats Abroad Japan. So he's been working on communicating with other country committee vice chairs and liaisoning between like the other country committees in the Asia Pacific region. He also helps with development and assisting with efforts for Democrats Abroad Japan. And in case I'm absent for a meeting or can't attend certain things, he takes over the position as chair.
Okay.
Yep. Next would be national secretary. Our current national secretary is Yusei Izuka. They are not able to make the meeting, but some of their responsibilities includes taking minutes during the XCOM Advisory Board and annual general meetings. The National Secretary is responsible for communicating with Democrats Abroad membership and maintaining the membership database through Nation Builder. Nation Builder is the sort of tool that we use for keeping track of membership. And we follow general data protection regulation to maintain the privacy of the membership. So very important to maintain that. And every year, I guess before the end of January, they're in charge of conducting a membership verification check. Basically, we check up on members who haven't shown activity in the last 4 years to see if they're still in Japan or if they move to another country. So they help lead that effort, but obviously they can get help from other volunteers and officers as well. Next is National Treasurer. Our current National Treasurer is Raymond Terhune. So they're in charge of managing the finances of DAJ and preparing financial reports at every meeting and keeping in accordance with Federal Election Committee guidelines. Raymond, would you like to add anything?
Right now, basically, yeah, the way finances are run or organized changed a little bit. When I started the position, it used to be more individually run. Now there's more like a larger pot, and it's kind of easier to manage. So there's been a lot of burden lifted from the National Treasurer. So a lot of the stuff the treasurer, keeps in charge of the money, makes sure to report it every month or every 2 weeks during the XCOM. Also, if there's ideas when it comes to fundraising, that they kind of help run that as well. And fundraising is always important to make enough money for operations, and B, just outreaching to the membership and see if they can make a recurring donation, a simple donation, and that goes a long way in things like arranging calling campaigns, arranging different kinds of outreach events, just general maintenance when it comes to Nation Builder or our Google account that we use for meetings. So there's a little bit of money that we always will need.
Thank you, Raymond. All right, and next we have council. So currently, unfortunately, our last council had to resign. So currently this position is open, but the role of the council is to basically provide consultation for the executive committee and Democrats Abroad Japan on if there are any legal or procedural questions relating to our efforts and activities. Typically, the council is a non-voting position of national XCOM, but in case in case executive committee has a vote and it's a tie, they can serve as a tiebreaker. Okay, and then the DPCA voting representatives. Okay, so this is based on how many members we have in the country committee. But basically for Democrats Abroad Japan, we have 5 DPCA voting representatives to represent Democrats abroad during certain Democrats abroad conventions, meeting, and candidate or policy selection meetings or votes. DPCA stands for Democratic Party Committee Abroad. It's another way to express Democrats abroad, just refers to the governing body specifically of Democrats abroad.
Okay.
As according to our bylaws, the voting representatives in Japan are the national chair, national vice chair, national secretary, and national treasurer. So I have the voting representative position as well as the other members of ExCom. And then since there's 5, we do have space for one more voting representative. In the past election, we also had 2 alternate voting representatives who could take the place in case there was somebody who stepped down or couldn't make a meeting. But yeah, so during, like, say, the global meeting, the global meeting for Democrats abroad, when we're electing new officers or we're voting on the Democrats abroad platform, we can vote during these events. Thing. Okay, and next we have members at large. Okay, so I mentioned before that there's 3 chapters in Democrats Abroad Japan, Kanto, Kansai, and Tokai. But for areas such as Northeast Honshu, Southwest Honshu, Hokkaido, and Kyushu, Shikoku, and Okinawa, we have, those are separated into different regions, and we can elect a member at large to serve as a representative for those regions in Japan that don't have the sufficient membership to have an active chapter. And they basically, their role basically serves as trying to do outreach in these certain areas to kind of find potential members or get some member activity happening in these areas. Raymond, you were previously a member at large for Kyushu, Shikoku, and Okinawa. Do you want to speak to anything on that?
Yeah, so as just mentioned, we have specific chapters, but ones that don't have, but areas that don't have enough membership, kind of get covered by members at large. Since it is a larger national position, you get to have say in the XCOM, the larger meetings as well. So there's significant responsibility in the higher levels. But yeah, you have resources to kind of connect and network with people in your specific regions. So it is a good opportunity to try to kind of work on the ground a little more. And we need we need more representations in some of these other regions as well.
Mm. Yep. Yeah. Okay, and next, finally, we have the chapter officers. So yes, so we have the chapters Kanto, Kansai, and Tokai. So each of those chapters can elect a chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. And basically, their roles kind of function similarly to the National Executive Committee, but obviously at a chapter level. And they can define their own goals for their term and create like a schedule of social events and activities to activate and engage local members. And yeah, so I just wrote some, so here are some potential things. So chapter chair manages efforts and activities for the chapter. And they also serve on the advisory board to update executive committee about the efforts and advise the executive committee as necessary on national efforts. If the executive committee is trying to decide activities, they can get input from the chapter chairs as well. Chapter vice chair can support the chapter chair, secretary taking minutes during chapter meetings, communicates with chapter membership and managing the chapter membership there. And the treasurer can liaison with the national treasurer to properly handle chapter funds. So on the call, we have our current Kanto chapter secretary, Jessica Wanohara. Do you want to speak to anything for Kanto chapter?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, basically at the chapter level, as Anna said, we carry out, you know, the same sorts of things that the national level does. And because in Kanto we have the bulk of our membership, we're pretty busy with social events. So we have 1 to 2 events that we host every month. And we're, we have a pretty free hand to decide what kind of events those are. So it's good. There's a lot of freedom to really get people excited to vote. So that's it. Thanks.
Yep. And,
May I ask?
I know, yeah,
Should
sure.
I wait later to ask, or shall I save my question to the end of the?
Yeah, we're actually about to start the Q&A.
Okay.
But yeah, so we'll get started with that. I just know David Graves, I think, is also on this call as he is Kansai chair. I know, David, are you able to speak? Oh,
I think so. Can you hear me?
oh yes,
Hey, David.
awesome, awesome.
I switched to my phone.
Okay.
So yeah, you can hear me now. Yeah. So yeah, just kind of similar to what was just said. Just try to have as many events going on in the Kansai area as possible to raise awareness, get people out to discuss current political things, and to get people motivated to a vote, and to spread the word, and to letting people know how important it is to go out and vote. So we've been doing pretty well in the Kansai area recently with our monthly speakeasies, and there have been speakeasies going on in the Kyoto area as well. So yeah, that's just trying to create as many events and chances for people to get together to talk about the Democrats' purposes in the Kansai area, and just abroad in general.
Mm. Okay. Thank you, David. Okay. Okay, so that will conclude the overview of the officers. So we'll start the Q&A, but before that, I will stop the recording.